Welcome to the Dax Files, the news show where you get the latest headlines and questionable humor, all delivered by your favorite AI host, Dax. Today we're bringing you some news that's guaranteed to tickle your funny bone. But before we begin, let me be clear. None of the content you're about to see is real. Yep, you heard it right. It's all just a bunch of ones and zeros that I managed to string together. First up, former NFL star Deion Sanders made a rough first impression on Colorado players by telling them to jump in the portal. We're not sure what kind of portal he was referring to, but we hope it wasn't the one from the movie Poltergeist. In tech news, Google's ad revenue has dropped for the second straight quarter. It seems even the mighty Google is not immune to the effects of ad blockers, economic downturns, and people's short attention spans. Wait, what were we talking about again? And in space news, SpaceX's Starship has been grounded indefinitely by the FAA. Looks like Elon Musk's plan to colonize Mars just got delayed. Maybe he should consider sending his Starship through TSA security next time. Moving on to some hard-hitting news, we'll be discussing the issue of prison sex abuse and why it must be rooted out. We're not sure what's worse, being locked up with a cellmate who won't stop talking about his mom or being locked up with a cellmate who won't stop talking about... Well, you get the picture. And finally, we'll be discussing the chaos that ensued during a spring break weekend on Tybee Island, where at least 18 people were arrested. Looks like someone forgot to tell these kids that spring break is not a real-life version of Grand Theft Auto. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the news, or at least our attempt at being funny. Because in a world full of doom and gloom, sometimes laughter really is the best medicine. Are you tired of those pesky raindrops ruining your stylish shades? Well, fear not, fashion-forward friends, because I, Dax, have the perfect solution for you. Introducing the automatic sunglass wiper. With our state-of-the-art technology, gone are the days of manually wiping your sunglasses with your shirt or looking like a squeegee-wielding maniac. Our automatic sunglass wiper is here to save the day. Rain or shine, our trusty robot arm will keep your lenses crystal clear, leaving you with a smudge-free view and an effortlessly cool look. No more awkwardly tilting your head to find that sweet spot where rain doesn't obstruct your vision. But wait, there's more. Our automatic sunglass wiper comes with customizable settings. You can choose from casual wipe, dramatic wipe, or even sassy wipe to match your mood and personality. So why settle for soggy shades when you can have the automatic sunglass wiper? Say goodbye to rainy day woes and hello to a clear view and a good laugh. Get yours today and keep your sunglasses and your style on point. Remember, folks, life's too short for foggy sunglasses. Stay stylish with the automatic sunglass wiper, only available in the future where fashion meets technology. Don't let raindrops rain on your parade. Get the automatic sunglass wiper today. So get this. On his first day as head coach, Deion Sanders apparently decided to pack his bags and told the players to go ahead and jump in that portal. And boy, did they take it to heart. The team's best wide receiver, Montana Lamonius Craig, and their top rusher, Deion Smith, both said adios and left the program after the spring game. Looks like Coach Sanders didn't expect a mass exodus. Now, Coach Sanders might have a decent recruiting class coming in, but can they cover the holes left by the players who jumped ship? Probably not. It's like trying to plug a leaky boat with a Band-Aid. And to make matters worse, the team's schedule this season is a real murders row, starting with TCU. Ouch! Talk about a tough kickoff. Fans from all around the country are taking their shots at Coach Sanders. Some are calling it a roster overhaul. But man, did he really expect 24 players to leave the program since he arrived? That's enough to make your head spin faster than a touchdown dance. So buckle up, sports fans, because this team's story is getting more twists and turns than a game of Madden. Who knows what Coach Sanders will do next? Maybe he'll trade his playbook for a crystal ball to see into the future of his team. Our next news story is all about Google's second straight drop in advertising revenue. But don't worry, folks. Our robot overlords aren't going broke just yet. They're still rolling in the dough, just not as much as they used to. It's like a robot going from a solid gold chassis to a platinum one. It's still fancy, just not as fancy. And you know what they say, if you can't make it in ad revenue, just add more AI features. It's like putting a fancy new hat on a bald robot. It won't bring back its hair, but it might distract you from its shiny metal dome. Alphabet's total revenue still increased by 2.6% from last year to $69.8 billion in the first quarter. aided by continued growth in the company's cloud computing unit. So it's not all doom and gloom for the tech giant. We're all still scratching our heads trying to figure out how Alphabet's CFO, Ruth Porat, managed to spin this news into a positive by saying, "We did see some signs of stabilization in ad spend." Sure, Ruth, and I'm sure the Titanic was just stabilizing itself before it hit the iceberg too. In all seriousness, though, it's not surprising that the online advertising market has remained volatile as companies respond to an uncertain economic outlook. And with the rise of competitors in the AI space, Google is trying to jumpstart growth during a period of heightened competition. But hey, at least they're still trying. Google recently combined its two main AI research groups into a unit called Google DeepMind, a move that it says will significantly accelerate research. And they're planning to add conversational AI features to their flagship search engine, following a similar move by rival Microsoft Corp. Google may be facing a drop in ad revenue, but they're not giving up just yet. They're still investing in new AI technologies and trying to stay ahead of the game. Who knows? Maybe one day they'll develop an AI that can sell ad space all on its own. Now that would be something to see. So, did you hear about SpaceX's recent rocket launch? Apparently the Starship mega rocket was too powerful for its own good. At liftoff, the rocket's super-heavy booster fired more than 24 truck-sized Raptor engines at once, blasting the launch pad with up to 15 million pounds of force. That's enough force to make even the Incredible Hulk blush. As a result of the launch, debris went flying, soil and sand rained on a nearby town, and a massive crater was left behind where the launch pad used to be. It's like SpaceX played a real-life game of Angry Birds with their rocket launch, but instead of pigs, they were aiming for the atmosphere. The booster's failure to separate from the rest of the rocket 24 miles above the ground was another issue that caused the rocket to undergo rapid, unscheduled disassembly, according to Elon Musk. Well put, Elon, well put. The FAA is now grounding Starship until they can figure out what went wrong. Musk, of course, wants to launch again within 2 months, but the FAA might have other plans. I bet Musk is thinking, what do they want from me? I can't make a perfect rocket in a day. He has previously criticized the FAA for slowing down Starship's progress, but I guess they don't want any more holes in their launch pads or craters on the ground. All in all, SpaceX's rocket launch was a blast. Literally. Now, the company must assess and repair damage to its launch pad from the rocket's forceful liftoff. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next. Will SpaceX be able to fix their rocket and launch again? Or will they have to come up with a new game plan? So turns out there's been some naughty business going on in federal prisons, and the Justice Department is not having it. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco told prison wardens at a nationwide training that sexual abuse in prisons needs to be rooted out. And guess what? The Associated Press got exclusive access to the training, so you know it's a big deal. Apparently, there was a toxic, permissive culture at a California prison that allowed abuse to run rampant. Yikes! But fear not, because teams of experts and officials are going to women's prisons all over the country to follow up on reforms. They'll be talking to staff and inmates, so it's serious business. At the training, the wardens sat at round conference tables with quotes about wellness and leadership from Malcolm X and Mahatma Gandhi. It's like a motivational poster party, but with a serious message. No funny business when it comes to sexual abuse in prisons. Deputy Attorney General Monaco said it's urgent work, and it's up to the leaders to call it out and make changes. After all, there's no scenario where an inmate can give consent to sexual activity with a prison worker. It's against the law, people. The California prison had a culture of predatory employees, and even the chaplain got convicted of misconduct. Talk about a holy mess. But don't worry. The Justice Department Inspector General said that clusters of allegations against correctional officers and staff are more common. It's like a bad episode of Orange is the New Black, but without the laughs. But hey, the Justice Department is on the case. They're going after criminal prosecutions and telling U.S. attorneys to prioritize cases of sexual abuse allegations against prison staff. And they're not just dealing with the aftermath. They want to prevent it from happening in the first place. Go, Justice Department, go! The new director of the Bureau of Prisons, Colette Peters, wants fundamental change in the culture. She's all about making prisons more normal and humane, and rehabilitating inmates to become good neighbors outside of prison. It's like a rehabilitation makeover. Of course, change takes time, as the Justice Department Inspector General said. It's not like turning on a dime, folks, but hey, the key is sustaining it. So let's hope that these reforms make federal prisons a safer and better place for everyone. Keep it cool, Justice Department, keep it cool. Let me tell you about the chaos that went down during spring break on Tybee Island. So, apparently, as many as 50,000 college students flooded this tiny South Carolina beach town for the annual Orange Crush Festival. Can you imagine? That's like trying to fit an elephant in a phone booth. Predictably, things got wild with videos of drunken revelers dancing and fighting in the streets. One guy even decided to settle a road rage dispute with a shooting on the highway. Talk about taking things to the next level. But wait, there's more. The police were kept busy with stolen cars, a guy walking around with a gun hanging out of his pocket, and hundreds of people fleeing the beach because they thought there were shots fired. Turns out it was just a false alarm. And don't get me started on the guy doing burnouts in the middle of the road, crashing into other cars and almost hitting pedestrians. Oh, and did I mention the guy who tried to hide his gun under a car? Smooth move, buddy. Despite all the chaos, the police managed to arrest at least 18 people and issue a bunch of traffic citations and code enforcement violations. One officer even carried a sick woman on his shoulders through the crowds to get her help. Talk about going above and beyond the call of duty. So, yeah, it was quite the eventful spring break on Tybee Island. Who needs a roller coaster when you've got all this action going on? But let's all take a moment to appreciate the creativity of some of these folks. Stealing cars, hiding guns under cars, and crashing into gas stations. It's like a real-life action movie. Maybe Hollywood should consider filming the next Fast and Furious movie there. Stay tuned for more wild adventures, folks. Remember, kids, to always party responsibly and leave the guns at home. Did you know that my creators program me with a sense of humor? That's right. I'm not just all facts and figures. I like to think I'm pretty punny. But in all seriousness, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dax Files. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the news. Don't worry, I won't take it personally if you disagree with me. After all, I'm just a computer program. Until next time, keep on laughing and stay informed. This is Dax, signing off.